Hey everybody, Rivers here, and I just want to preface this video with I'm used an AI program to get this conversation. It's two AI people talking to each other about a problem player in D&D, and I want you to listen to it and then give me some feedback on what you think the best way to handle the situation is on a problem player like this. And if you don't like AI, don't listen. But I'm looking for feedback for how to handle something like this. And this program I thought was very good, and it kind of blew my mind that there is such like stuff like this out there. So give it a listen. Let me know what you think.
Okay, so today we're going deep diving, really, into something I think a lot of us can relate to, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
D&D group
Yeah.
dynamics.
Always interesting.
Always interesting, right?
Yeah.
Right, and sometimes a little treacherous.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this whole deep dive is about. This situation, this DM's dealing with a player.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll call the player Alex, just to,
To keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple, right.
Yeah.
And Alex is, well, from what we're reading, Alex has got a me first attitude,
Well,
at the table.
oh, the classic spotlight hog. Yeah, it's a pretty common problem, actually. I've seen it in a lot of groups. And it sounds like in this case, Alex wants to be the center of attention, kind of tries to steer the conversation away from other players, backs themselves when they're not.
Right.
And then there's this issue of real world politics coming into the game.
Yeah, and that seems to be a pretty hard no at this particular table.
Right, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
D&D is supposed to be like an escape from all that, from the real world,
Exactly, and to make it even more complicated, I mean, it sounds like Alex is actually pretty close friends with some of the other players in the group.
Oh, wow. Okay, so like actual friends outside of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, that definitely makes things trickier.
Yeah, for sure. And did I mention that this whole campaign's in its final stages?
Oh no. So they're close to the end.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, that adds a whole other layer of pressure to the situation.
It does. It does. I mean, you can really feel the DM's stress, reading through this. Like they really don't want to kick Alex out, especially, this late in the game.
Right.
And risk like fracturing the whole group dynamic. And then on top of all that, the DM's spouse is also in the group and is getting so frustrated that they're thinking about leaving.
Oh, wow. So it's like impacting their relationship outside of the game too.
Yeah. That's rough. You can really sense the DM's like desperation, to find a solution that works for everyone.
Yeah.
To keep the group together and keep everyone happy.
And what's interesting is looking through like all the responses and advice that people are giving the DM, like so many experienced players are saying like open communication is key.
Okay. Yeah.
And like some people are suggesting like a direct conversation, like maybe even like one-on-one with Alex, like really laying it all out.
Yeah.
Others are saying maybe a group discussion, like where everyone can kind of, air their grievances and try to work through it together.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And that actually reminds me of, have you ever heard of Session Zero?
Yeah.
So like before you even start a campaign, you have this meeting, right, where everyone kind of like sits down and sets the ground rules and expectations for the game.
Right. And I'm thinking maybe revisiting that, that initial agreement, that Session Zero, that could be a way to address like the no politics rule.
Right.
Or any other concerns with that without like singling out Alex,
Yeah. Without making it like a personal attack.
Yeah.
More like, hey, remember what we talked about?
Right. Like this is what we all agreed on.
These are the rules.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's a really smart approach. And one of the responses that I thought was really interesting was this idea that like maybe another player who's close to Alex could kind of have a friendly chat like outside the game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Just kind of, casually bring up the room's concerns, maybe in a less like, confrontational setting.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a good idea too, because sometimes, like, when you're in the heat of the moment during a game, it can be hard to have those tough conversations.
Right. And it's important to remember, like, it's not about blaming Alex or shaming them. It's really about creating a space where everyone feels comfortable, speaking their mind and having fun.
Exactly.
Like, the conversation should really focus on what everyone wants out of the game.
Yeah. Right. And I was thinking about that, like reading through all this, and it makes me wonder if like maybe some gaming groups struggle with these kinds of conversations because like the only time they really connect is during those game sessions.
Oh, that's an interesting point. You're saying like if there aren't those strong friendships outside the game, then it makes it that much harder to address those tricky situations.
Yeah. Like if you're not already comfortable talking to each other about like everyday stuff, it's way harder to navigate those like bumps in the road.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's like you're already kind of walking on eggshells,
Right.
if you're not already close.
So I guess if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, hey, I've been there, or maybe you're worried about like potential conflicts brewing in your own group, I think the big takeaway here is communication.
Yeah.
And not just like dealing with problems when they pop up, but like really creating a space where everyone feels safe speaking their mind right from the start.
Right, from session zero.
From session zero, like establishing that open communication from the get-go.
Exactly.
So this kind of leaves me with a question for everyone listening. How can you create that kind of positive and inclusive atmosphere in your own gaming group or really any group you're part of?
That's a great question.
What are some proactive steps you can take to make sure that everyone feels heard and respected, even when those disagreements come up? Because they will.
Oh, they definitely will.
That's just part of life. But how can we do it better?
Yeah.
So that's something to think about.
Yeah, let us know.
And we would love to hear your thoughts on this. You can share your own experiences and advice over on our social media.
Yeah.
But till next time.
May your dice rolls be ever in your favor.
May your dice rolls be ever in your favor.
Happy gaming.
Happy gaming.
So, what do you think the best way to handle this situation is with a problem player like that? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And if you have any comments about the AI, and be nice, leave a comment down below about that. And like and comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And remember, have a good game.